Hi everyone, my name is Bella DeArmit, and today I want to talk about being present. I know this is a major struggle for so many individuals my age and younger. We are the generations of social media. We are the iPad kids. We are entrenched within technology that is designed to suck us in, designed to shorten our attention spans and make us crave the likes, crave the tokens, the gold coins, the scrolling. Social media, video games, those are the big culprits. I don't think that it's our fault that we have fallen victim to technology and all of its strategy, but I do think that it's something we need to talk about. It's something that we need to acknowledge. I've always described myself as someone who lives in the future. I really struggle to be here in this moment because I have such grand dreams for myself. I have such big aspirations, and I feel like in order to make those happen, I need to sacrifice today. I need to sacrifice going to the gym or going out with friends or just sitting and enjoying a moment. I felt like I had to neglect all of that in order to build the future that I wanted to live. But the truth of the matter is, if you are constantly living for your future, then you'll never get to experience what you're creating for yourself. As corny as it is, the future is always the future. The present is now. The present is the only reality that we will ever exist in. I was able to make the most progress in living in the future when I began to analyze the impact of consistent social media use in my life. And when I gave myself a trip out of St. Louis, and I realized that leaving St. Louis wasn't going to solve my issue. That issue is prevalent whether I'm in St. Louis, whether I'm in DC, whether I'm in Chicago. Wherever I go, I'm going to struggle to be present. And trying to escape my issue by leaving the city is when I really sat myself down and acknowledged that I was not living in the present. At my worst, I described myself as someone who lives in the future. I couldn't sit through a full movie or watch a TV show with my boyfriend or sit in class and not do something with my hands or work on something on my computer. I knew that I didn't exist in the present, but I didn't understand the damage that it would create for me. I was neglecting my present self in order to fuel my future self's aspirations. If you live for the future, if your mind exists in the future, you are neglecting your current self. And right now is all that we have. The future is always going to be the future, and the past is always going to be the past. The only thing that we can do now is experience the memories that we're making today. I began to ask my friends and my family and my mentors, what do you do to stay present? What mindset, what mantra, what activities do you engage with in order to be here? Kicking us off in number 1 is Marcel the Shell. This is a movie that I cried harder than a lot of other things. I cry a lot, so I can't really say like, I cried and I never cry. I cry a lot, but this film made me sob harder than a lot of other content that I've consumed. And I put it number 1 because I want you to remember and watch Marcel the Shell, okay? It's adorable, number 1. It follows this little shell. Like he's so small. And it's just about his life with his grandma and living in this house and how he creates a life for himself. And all that Marcel does is live for the present. He does such a good job taking care of himself in the moment, recognizing his needs, taking care of them, and sprinkling in some joy and happiness and creative energy to go along with it all. This movie is beautiful. It's a work of art. I dedicate it to every little human out there who played with the littlest pet shops, Legos, who created fairy gardens in their backyard. This is the movie for that group of humans. I was a littlest pet shop girl, gotta be honest. I would make little worlds for my littlest pet shops out of Legos and out of cardboard and using my markers and my Sharpies. Oh, this movie scratched that part of my brain. So this film is dedicated to anyone out there who played with littlest pet shops, played with Legos, built a fairy garden. This is perfect for you. There's one line in particular that really stuck with me from the film. It was a dialogue that was captured between Marcel and his grandma Connie. And Marcel asked his grandma, "But what if everything changes again?" And she said, "Oh, Marcello, it will." And with graduation just behind me, I relate to that so much. Boy, oh boy. We don't realize it, but things will never stop changing. No matter what happens, things will always change. That's the only thing that is guaranteed in life is change. And so living in the moment, existing in the present, savoring the memories as they're being made, that is all that we can do to protect ourselves from change. Well, savoring the moment and just being open to change. Recognizing that this chapter in your life can't last forever. It won't last forever. That can provide you some joy in recognizing that if you're going through a bad chapter in your life, it will end. But it's also a little melancholy in the sense that if you're doing all right now, if you have a beautiful life, just know that it's not going to stay like that forever. So live in that moment. Live in that reality. Change is inevitable, my friends. So that's my first recommendation, okay? Marcel the Shell. It might be Marcel the Shell with shoes on. I don't know. I'll look it up. I'll keep you guys updated. The next film that I want to recommend to you guys is Parasite. This one is meant for older audiences because it does have violence, it does have cursing, it does have one sexual scene. What else? And just so you know, it is a foreign film, so prepare yourself for subtitles, okay? Just want to make sure that I communicate that so that you guys know exactly what you're stepping into. The film is a pure form of art. Like, there are layers upon layers upon layers. There's commentary on politics, on society. And even though it is a foreign film, I feel like the commentary on politics and society still do apply to American life. Because, believe it or not, Korea and America, I've heard they're somewhat similar in terms of like the way that society operates and the way that people not interact, but the way that people view the world, okay? So it is relatable, it is beautiful, there are so many different layers to pick apart, and the film does have a nice message of be present. Even if the chapter that you're living in doesn't bring you that much joy, there are reasons to be joyful within that chapter. And when you move on to the next chapter, if you realize that you still don't have the best outlook on it, then you might need to take a look in the mirror and recognize that you are not deriving joy from the way that you're living now because your mindset isn't allowing that. There are always reasons to be joyful, and there are always reasons to have a positive outlook on life. So, Parasite is my next recommendation, and I'm not going to tell you too much more because I went in blind and I thought that it really helped my film experience. And just so you know, going in blind is a phrase that my family uses. It describes when we go into a movie without any context, without any knowledge of what we're going to see. You go in not watching the trailer, not looking at the cast list, not looking at film synopses online. You go in blind. You go in without anything. So I'm keeping my details short and brief for those reasons. Feel free to go ahead and look up reviews and look up the plot if you guys want a little bit more detail. But in my video, just for everybody's sake, I'm gonna keep it nice and short. So that is Parasite. That is my second recommendation for you lovely humans regarding being present and living in the moment. My next recommendation is the Harry Potter series. I think that watching the Harry Potter series all the way through brings us face to face with the fact that time changes so quickly. In this film, we get to see the lead trio, Harry, Hermione, and Ron, grow up before our eyes. We grow so fast. We change so much. We experience so many different things that help us shape into who we're meant to be. I feel like Harry Potter and watching the cast grow and change really drives home the fact that we aren't going to be here in this moment again. I'm not gonna be here forever. I'm gonna change. Every day, every year, I'm gonna be a new person. My next recommendation is going to be an alternative to watching the Harry Potter series, because I know that not everyone watched the Harry Potter series when they were growing up, and I've realized, watching the series as an older human, that if you didn't watch it as a child, there's a layer of nostalgia and magic that's missing. If you're just like, not really my cup of tea, I would rather watch something else, then I wanted to provide you this video as an alternative. I think that it demonstrates the same effect, that time changes so quickly and that we become a new person every single day, every single year. I mean, actually, like literally, biologically speaking, we do become a new person every 7 years. Every 7 years, our body has regenerated itself. As in, every single cell that makes us, it has replaced itself. And so it is a new cell. And every 7 years, we are a new person. We are made of new material. Okay, guys, I introduce you to recommendation number 4. We are getting into the big dogs right now, because recommendation number 4 is for those who want to make change. Okay? If you saw the title of this video, if you said, oh my gosh, struggling to be present, that's me. If you have already acknowledged that this is an issue in your life and you are prepared and willing to start impacting change, meditation is the way to go, my friends. Meditation is the practice of existing. It is connecting your body and your mind. It's pretty scary. Gotta be honest. As someone who struggles to just cuddle with her boyfriend and watch a movie, not knit, not do work on my computer, none of that. As someone who can't sit through a class without opening her laptop to do work, or doodling, or getting out her knitting and crocheting. Meditation is terrifying, because all that meditation is stillness. I can't even be still right now. Meditation is not my best friend, but I know that I have an issue with being present. And in order to best support myself, current Bella and future Bella, if I have a free moment with my dog, and if I feel like my brain is just going a million miles per minute and I want a moment to breathe, I will lay down and put my head on my dog and I'll cuddle up with her. And for as long as I can, I will just focus on our breathing or the way that our bodies connect. So I'll either try and match her breathing or be aware of her breathing in relation to my breathing, or I will just admire how her fur feels against my skin and how warm she is. In those moments, I try to focus on just one of those two things. I can't even switch it. I won't let myself start out with the touch sensation. I won't let myself start out with the breath and then transition to the other, because that is breaking focus. So the goal is to just focus yourself for as long as you can on one thing. don't let your mind wander. Don't let your inner dialogue start to talk about, oh, over here, we should be focused on this. And oh, don't forget about this. And oh, are you thinking about this? Do you have a solution for this? Because that is the muscle. The muscle is telling those voices, hey, I need a second. Hey, it's not time for this. I knew that I had an issue when my sleep started to be affected. I would get into bed at night, I would lay down, take out my ponytails, and I would be ready to go to bed. And I would need to go to bed because maybe I had something in the morning. And I would lay there, and the inner dialogue just wouldn't stop. My mind just wouldn't stop. All of a sudden, my boyfriend's alarm clock is going off at 6 a.m. and I haven't slept a wink. Time flies when it's just me and my brain, you know, because she won't be quiet. And so that's why I have started to practice a little bit of meditation. The recommendation that I have for you guys is consider meditation. Join Headspace. That is the #1 meditation resource that is online. It's an app. You have so many different meditations that you can access, and it comes highly recommended from everyone within my circle. So Headspace is a really good option if you can afford it. If you are more on a budget, consider people on YouTube. Find someone who is saying mantras and speaking different things for you to focus on that relate to you. So meet yourself wherever you are. You've already acknowledged the problem by clicking on this video. So you're halfway there. I'm proud of you. Thanks for being here. Rounding out my recommendations for you lovely folks on what to consume when you're failing to be present, I have a podcast for you, okay? I'm a podcast girly. I love me some podcasts. I listen to them when I'm doing the laundry, when I'm walking my dog, when I'm driving around in my car, when I'm knitting, all kinds of stuff. I really, really love a good podcast. And one that I appreciate to the end of the earth is Armchair Expert, okay? Dax Shepard is an actor, he's a funny man, and he has these fantastic casual conversations with world-class individuals. I'm talking celebrities, I'm talking actors, I'm talking singers, world-class athletes, and world-class scientists and researchers and psychologists, okay? So it's not just the pop culture world, it also has science, it also has psychology, it has beautiful information that is discovered in a really casual way. It's not pushed down your throat, it is, how are you? And what are you up to? What makes you you? What are you struggling with now in life? He gets down to the nitty-gritty. And the big thing that I've walked away from this podcast with is the understanding that life is just a series of moments. And all that we can do is exist now and make choices that will support us living the life that we want to live down the road. It's beautiful to hear about the opportunities and the decisions and the journey that these really big names and really successful humans, it's fun to see their journey. And with that, my friends, my what to watch when you are struggling to be present is done. Those are my recommendations for you guys. I hope that you found a movie or a TV show or a podcast or a video that you're excited to dig into. And I really appreciate you joining me today. I am so proud of you for taking this step and acknowledging that it's hard to be present. It's hard to live right now. It's hard to care for ourselves right now. But you're doing an awesome job, okay? I have so much faith in you. I have so much care for you. And I hope today treats you well. Now get out there and do some good. Goodbye.